All rise, football fans. As the Welt Associates P.A. Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session. Welt Associates P.A., where clients get direct communication, strategic guidance, and strong advocacy when life takes an unexpected turn. From property insurance disputes to personal injuries and bankruptcies, call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
All right, welcome aboard. Time to rock and roll. Talk a little Miami Dolphins, baby. Question, was there a bigger winner or loser today on the field than Welt Rheaume for you guys?
Oh, then Welt Rheaume, the Welt Rheaume combination. How about JJ Watt?
There's winners, there's ups and downs, winners and losers at training camp. You guys, this guy's stock is up, this guy's stock is down. Today, is there a bigger stock up and stock down than JJ Watt and Tony Romo? I'm just saying, is there?
Adversity for Tony Romo is opportunity for JJ Watt. But yeah, and there's some stock up and stock down going on at Dolphins camp. Maybe not quite to that extent.
Oh, how about Malik? A little stock up for Malik?
Yeah. And it was down. It was down before that. So it's from a place where it was down day two. But a nice rebound here. As I've covered practices over the years, and now this is my sixth, I kind of see how that works. Like there's those ebbs and flows. You're not really going to see perfect training camps from everyone. And when competitive guys who want to do well and have that desire and are keying in on their craft, they're going to rebound more often than not after a bad day. Hey, I mean, we say what we do about Tua now, but so many times whenever Tua had a rough practice, I saw he would bounce back the next practice. And I feel like I've written so many times, like, all right, Tua, rough day today. Tua, then next day it's Tua rebounds. And it's also a lot of it has to do sometimes with what the teams are practicing on given days. A lot of situational stuff and a lot of red zone stuff today. So red zone, you get the opportunity to throw some touchdown passes, and Malik Willis did. One to tight end Ben Sims, and another one to Caleb Douglas, who made a nice one-handed catch, and it was very far. So some defenders were saying he was out of bounds. But
what do you got? In or out?
Yeah. Well, my vantage point was way farther than the guys on the field because it was the very back corner of the far field. So I'm going to say in because I want that highlight to stand. And I made Caleb Douglas my stock up today because he was highly active. He did have one drop where he just lost focus, but he had the first two plays of team drills, the first two passes go to him. Secured one of them on a very contested catch. He made that highlight reel touchdown catch. Had another one on intermediate to the sideline route. So he was highly productive, highly active today. So for my stock up purposes of Caleb Douglas, then yes, I would prefer that one to stand.
Yeah, and how the interception that, what is it, Alex Austin is the one that intercepted Malik Willis, is that correct?
Yes. Willis got the ball to his tight end, Will Kazmarek, on this play. So it got to his hands, and then Tyrell Dodson dislodged it with a little bit of a shoulder thump into Kazmarek. So got to his target, but leading him into a defender. So those kind of things can happen. So it's one that it's not like someone just totally undercut the route and he didn't see him. He saw an opening to go get the ball to his receiver, and he got it there. But then it's just you put a big hitter right in front of your receiver, a rookie tight end who's very physical, more of an inline blocker though, and then ball gets away from him. Now it's up in the air, and then a cornerback, Alex Austin, comes away with the pick.
Did ball placement have anything to do with that?
I thought the ball placement was okay on that one. As far as if you're just trying to squeeze it into the window, it did get to his receiver's hands, and he had it for a split second there before that. But it's just he led him right into a defender. So, nowadays, maybe like old school football, you see a lot of that. And hey, I mean, nowadays you probably draw a 15-yard penalty. Not that Dotson committed such on that play, and they're not tackling to the ground, but it was in a dangerous position where he led his pass catcher.
All right. So Willis had a better day than the last couple days, so that's good. And again, that's to me. I've been saying like the last couple of days, good or bad. I don't really look at any of this. Like when they're saying that Chop is doing well on the edge. Well, there's no pads, there's no real hitting. So I gotta And if Willis is off a little, well, he hasn't played with these people in this setting. It's going to take him some time. So I got to wait a couple of weeks to give him some time. And I thought that's what Hafley said in the press conference yesterday, that, I'm not going to judge a guy just after one practice. It's got to be over a stretch of time. Plus, all these guys are new, dude. So we've got to give them some time to try to figure each other out. And the coaches really don't know what the hell they have yet. They don't even know who's good in what situations, who excels in these situations, who doesn't excel in these situations, who's good in any situation. They have no idea. They have to figure all of that out. And dude, we're not even close to getting to that stage where they can figure that stuff out.
Yeah, and today was a good practice for that because they did a lot of situational things. They put it down and distance on the scoreboard instead of just like, all right, this is a play you're running, and just execute the play. So you saw like, all right, Kyle Lewis comes onto the field as a big nickel as a linebacker in a third down setting. I don't think I'm breaking any news with that. Like that's kind of like a role with him and his pass coverage abilities. As far as a safety background as a linebacker, that's one thing he can do. So you get him in that kind of package. So trying out different things with in the red zone, see who performs in those close quarters and then even if they just had a touchdown that like Malik Willis threw to Ben Sims, then very next play, actually one cool thing today was then we see Malik Willis run with the football, which all the practices that I've seen from the 6 that were OTAs and minicamp, and then the first 2 of training camp before today, it was everything that Malik was doing was either if it's run game, it's getting the ball to the running backs. If it's pass game, you mix in play action, you mix in some rollouts and bootlegs, and get them out of the pocket. But it's never like, okay, you can scramble. You have the freedom to scramble because that's not what they're practicing. So there was actually like a read option type of thing, which we figure they're going to do with Malik back there and Devon Achane. Like that's a deadly combination of speed at quarterback and running back where you can highlight that. So just to get Malik Willis into that kind of setting. And I posted a video clip of Dante Trader talking about the difficulties it can present if you're a defender back there who's got to worry with eyes on the quarterback about him potentially going and scrambling and running while you're also trying to cover elite receivers in the NFL. That can present some challenges. So another wrinkle that you see that can get incorporated in there, and finally, like you see it come to fruition in practice. And Willis ran for a touchdown on that play.
Yeah, so that's good. All right, skill position wise, who has stood out? Who stood out today, and maybe overall right now through the first 3 practices?
Yeah, I mean, I did have Caleb Douglas as a stock up today. So, you see him getting elevated reps, and he was that first wide receiver chosen in the draft, that early 3rd round pick. So, highlighting his height, his length, you see what he can do there. Dulcich, you expect. Sims has surprised me a little bit with how much he can catch at the tight end. I didn't know that much about him coming in, so I figured, okay, he's more like a blocker that they'll bring in, and he's been nice catching the football. Actually, now that you mention it, after I saw a lot of Jalen Tolbert OTAs and minicamp, I'm starting to think, and I haven't seen as many, at least in the frequency that I did in OTAs and minicamp as far as him getting targeted. So maybe something to keep an eye on if he keeps staying a little quiet over there.
Yeah, it's only 3 practices, dude. It's
Yeah,
not.
yeah. That's why I'm not concerned yet. Yeah.
Yeah. We got to wait now. Sunday, the pads come on, and then
Yeah.
we'll start to get a feel over the first week of what's going to happen. Because as you know, then in that second week, you're already starting to prepare for that first preseason game. You're starting to get, all right, who are the guys that were first going to get reps in this game? And so then we'll start to get a better feel because, here's the one thing we don't know. How much is he going to play guys in the preseason? Because he knows Patrick Paul's a starter and he knows Aaron Brewer's a starter and all that. So how much are they actually going to play? Because since nobody knows anybody and these people haven't played with each other in this system, I just wonder, will this team get more than the usual playing time in the preseason?
Yeah, that's definitely a question on my radar for as we get closer to that first preseason game. Maybe once we get to Washington and they have that joint practice, and it'll be good to ask Hafley around then. But I've thought of this, and I kind of would believe, yes, you will see more of more starters who you lock in as starters when you just take a look at the depth chart. But a lot of starters on this team are guys who really need to still earn their spots. It's not like they have, just if we see them out there first team right now, that doesn't mean they are surefire starters for week 1 in the NFL season. So a lot of guys still have to earn their spots. So I would say, we see an uptick in how many quote unquote right now starters you see where, maybe it's just like, okay, Patrick Paul's good. Aaron Brewer is good. Caden Proctor as a rookie, you probably want him to get some reps. Austin Jackson, a guy you want to protect more so. So probably not him because what you can get out of him at right tackle. Devon Achane, you want to protect at all costs. But on defense, Jordan Brooks for sure. Zach Sealer, he's proven it. But outside of those, I mean, there's not like too many more that you can name on this roster that, okay, well, on the preseason game where we're resting the starters, they don't go. No, a lot of these guys got to play. And I'll even include like Tyrell Dodson, where he's in a competition probably for that Mike spot because Jacob Rodriguez, you don't draft him in the second round to just keep the veteran who was there last year under the previous regime in place. You draft him to really push a guy, and I know from talking to Dodson during mini camp OTAs, whenever it was, he embraces that because he's seen a lot of competition his days in Buffalo, so he knows what it is.
All right, so walk me through this. This is the feel good, feel bad segment right here of the camp questions here for today. Savanaya gets back to his right guard spot. We're hoping that he can play better than he did last year. But we're also hoping that Kenneth Grant can play better than he did last year. Well, today, Savanaya stepped up and Grant didn't when both collided. So Savanaya got the best of Grant. So talk to me about that matchup, that one matchup today in practice.
Yeah, I mean, two guys that drafted now going into year 2, so top 2 picks. Savanaya, I think you see, he does look more comfortable on the right side. That's a key for him. Struggles on the left side last year, I think a lot of it can be attributed to feeling out of place, and that's tough when you are a rookie. So, I mean, good for him. Kenneth Grant still has a ways to go probably, and so you want to see him take that with however he can to improve. Later on, I did see Kenneth Grant had a pass rush win, and I didn't see how it developed because I saw Sealer. Both things happened at the same time. Zach Sealer beat Caden Proctor on this play, and then for a practice sack, and Kenneth Grant came around on the other side and got free. So that was also good to see for KG. Because you need to see the pass rush skill that we know he can bring out at that size, at that mammoth size, come to fruition. So, I mean, it's still early, but good for Jonah. And these matchups, hey, it's going to be good on one side. It's going to be bad on the other side because it's Dolphin on Dolphin. So, I look forward to getting a chance to see them go against an opponent eventually when it's only 2 joint practices this year, but one against Washington and then the other, it's the Giants, right? Not the Falcons. I got to look back. I think it's the Giants.
Well, we are hoping that Caden Proctor can make the adjustment to guard. It will not be easy. But what might make it easier is a few ass kickings from Zach Sealer.
Sorry, say again?
I said that Caden Proctor needs to adjust to guard from tackle. But his adjustment might be a little easier because he'll get some practice getting his ass kicked by Zach Sealer.
Yeah, that was one thing we talked about in today's interview with Caden Proctor. So that's actually what I wrote about and just sent in before I got on with you. So, he talked about some technique that Caden saw from Zach Sealer, how he's ripping at his arms when he doesn't get that extension with his hands. And then Zach Sealer, being a veteran who has seen it at the NFL level, and then he's able to pull on Caden Proctor's arms, get through, and that's stuff that Proctor doesn't really see, and not from anyone with the strength that can do that to him. Because he's always bigger than the guy that he was blocking when he was in college, so he could always rely on that in previous phases of life, whether he was a big-time recruit that eventually gets to Alabama or in the college football game. But in the NFL, then he's facing a lot of guys that were that, or like Zach Sealer, who they were under-recruited, went the other route, like had to prove themselves later in life, and then, earn their way in the NFL. And Zach Sealer has, gotten it done against a lot of big-time interior linemen in the NFL. So stuff he's learned, that he's found success beating, all the vets that he's gone against over years in the NFL. Now, Caden Proctor gets exposed to that, and that's the beauty of camp and these practices and how it benefits, especially such a young roster when you do have the veterans sprinkled in that can offer those teaching moments.
Yeah, no, and Caden has to see, and at tackle, you deal with a little bit more in space stuff where you get to float back and pick somebody up that might be coming wide on you or whatever. But man, inside at guard, it's a phone booth, and the guy is right on top of you on the snap, and it's a complete different adjustment because you don't get to use your arm length right away, because the guy might be mauling you, right on your ass. So it's a real challenge, for him. It's not going to be easy for him to play guard. If he makes it easy, if he makes it look easy, then you're going to know he's pretty special. Put it that way.
Definitely. That was one thing he mentioned too, is just how much quicker the contact occurs in there at guard. It's not so much space, but hey, at his size, and all right, he's got some size to go and deal with. At 352 pounds, he can go and deal with the big. If it's a nose guard that's on his inside shoulder, or a 3 technique that's on his outside shoulder, then he has the size to go and handle that somewhat, but he just won't be able to rely on that as much as maybe he did in college whenever his technique wasn't perfect. And, in college he could just get away with it. Now, he's got to have everything right, have cross his T's, dot his I's, make sure that he's got all facets of it in place.
Well, when you look around the league, Doggy, really good news for Dolphin fans. First 3 days, no injuries, right? Correct? No
Incredible.
We've seen other teams lose players for the year, like blown ACLs and all, and there's no real contact, like that's crazy going on. And we've seen guys like already, suffer serious injuries. So that's pretty good. And so it's just the same 3 guys that they're out, and they're going to be out for a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean, I got like a wood podium right here, so knock on wood. But we were talking about it as I took attendance at the start of practice, and a couple other guys on the Dolphins beat. And we see, okay, aside from the three guys, the two on PUP, one on NFI, and the corners, Daryl Baker, Storm Duck, and the wide receiver, Chris Bell. Okay, aside from those guys, again, perfect attendance. Everyone's practicing. So, we haven't seen anyone go off the field to go into the training staff. Like the most we've seen is maybe, someone got an eye poked. Okay, so they go get that taken care of. They're right back out there later on. So each day, and knock on wood that it stays that way. But it's honestly unlike anything I have seen since I've joined the beat in 2021, is because there is always an injury. The first practice, definitely, if not that, the second practice. I mean, shoot, I think of it could be a big one, like Jalen Ramsey. I know before I got on the beat, there was the Ryan Tannehill one in training camp. It could be like last year, Artie Burns tore his ACL. Later on, Cater Kohu tears his ACL, and then like your cornerback depth is depleted. So yeah, it's so far so good on that front. So let's hope it stays that way for these guys.
No accidents, but folks, if you suffer a motorcycle accident, a slip and fall, dog bites, wrongful death, car accident, truck accident, call our friends at Welt Associates. Property insurance claims, hurricane damage, roof damage, water intrusion, bankruptcy, Chapter 7, 13, 11. Reach out to my guy, Jeff Welt. The consultation's completely free, 954-966-4646. Give him a ring. And what do you got going on in the Sentinel to get everybody ready for Sunday and pads?
Yeah. Oh, and actually, no. So Monday will be the first practice in pads. It's the fifth practice. So yeah. I remembered I wanted to follow up with you on that because I wasn't sure last time we spoke. So yes, Monday will be the first practice in pads. I'm not sure if they'll do like shells or but hopefully they put on a show. I feel like that first practice with fans, they air it out. So hopefully there's a little bit of a show for the fans. But today I wrote about Caden Proctor and how it's unfamiliar territory for him at guard and the learning lessons of going and getting beat by Zach Sealer in training camp as he learns a new position as he starts his NFL career. Today's practice report with Malik Willis rebounding, Caleb Douglas getting very active. So that looks good. And then just yesterday I wrote about Aaron Brewer. So a lot of trench play that I'm looking into right now. So Aaron Brewer, as far as just being an anchor, as that really proven, reliable guy, that glue guy in the middle of that O-line, and what that means, especially having him extended now. So go ahead and check those out at sunsentinel.com.
All right, I'm going to let you go with this. I want your opinion on this because some people kind of lost their shit. But I'm sorry. I think this is my opinion, of course. I may be wrong. You may think of it different. These Miami Dolphins are eligible for moral victories.
Eligible for
moral victories.
Oh, okay.
Yes, they are.
Eligible for moral victories. Like if
example, they play Buffalo and they lose by 10, but it was a 3-point game with 4 minutes left, and Josh Allen had to drive in and put in a touchdown. And then the average person sees the game, oh, yeah, Buffalo won by 10, easy game. No. Actually, Miami played a really tough game. They hung in there, and they lost by 10 at the end because they got that touchdown. To me, that's a good performance by this kind of team. I understand that it's an old franchise and all of that, but you tore it down to the bone. This is practically an expansion team. To be quite honest, that's what it is. It's practically an expansion team. I will have moral victories for these guys. There'll be games that they're going to lose, but if they performed well, I can feel good about it and say, hey, man, I know they lost because they played a much better team, but they hung in there and they did a nice job. Moral victory. Are they eligible for moral victories?
Big O, I agree with you, and yes, given this roster, then certainly. And the better thing about it even is that they won't view any of it as such. And yeah, I know we always hear it like, no moral victories. We always hear it.
It's not a rebuild, and it's not a moral victory. Sure, dude. Go ahead, whatever. I mean, come on, bro. I can't treat you guys like the Seattle Seahawks, bro. I can't do that.
Right.
Them. I can't have expectations. I can't treat you like the Rams. I can't treat you like the Texans. I'm sorry. You just don't have that right now. So, yeah, I'm at the point where there might be a couple games that I'm going to say I hope there's a couple of games that I'm going to say, bro, Halfley and the staff coached their asses off, and they hung in there. And, yeah, they lost by 7 or 8 or 12 points. I'm going to say, no, dude, they did a pretty good job in this game because they should have lost by 25. You know, I'm going to end up saying that. I hope.
Yeah. And even more so, I hope that you see some of these games where they actually pull those out. Like, it's not just, okay, the competitive. No, I mean, like, let's see someone make a play at the end of a game and then they pull off an upset against the Bills, against the Patriots. Because, yeah, you need those moments. Even in a rebuild year, like, you need to see those. And sure, then the other side of that coin is that a lot of people who want to see the team pick number 1 in 2027. Oh no, it hurts their draft pick, which it does. There is that, but if they have none of those moments, like, your starting point for next year is also so much lower because you really don't have anything, you know? So at least you want to find out that you have some things this year. So you need those moments.
Well, if my point is, okay, so if you play a good team and you lose by 40, there's nothing there. But if you lose by 7 or 8 or 10 points or 3 points, something good must have happened in that game. You can't, with a team this little talent and this little cap space that they're using, you hung in there with a really good team. Some good shit must have happened in those 4 quarters, dude. And that's where I may have to walk away with some moral victories this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're the Heat with Giannis and Bam, there are no moral victories. You don't get that. You don't get that mulligan. But I'm good with these guys having that mulligan. Actually, I'm good.
Yeah. All right. So, Big O, what you're telling me is we're going to have some upbeat post-game shows throughout the season, even if they're. Yeah.
It's up to them.
You got to see the moral victory part of it. Yeah.
Right. The curtain is there. Are you going to give me, like, today? There were, or was it? Yeah, today there was a bunch of pre-snap penalties. No, it was yesterday. Yesterday they had a whole bunch of pre-snap penalties.
They had more. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you did that throughout a game and you lost by 35 points, then that's a shit post-game show that we're gonna have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you had a game where I know you're not better than almost everybody on your damn schedule. What, the Raiders and the Jets? That's about it. Everybody else, you're inferior to all of them, dude. So you're already going in as a deficit. If you give me at least some fight, then that means the coaches are doing something. The players means that John Eric Sullivan found some people. Something good must be going on, bro, because what is it? What's the percentage? They're only using like 40% of their cap, right? Or something like that?
Yeah, I don't have it by percentage, but yeah, they have 179 or million. Yeah, that's dead.
Yeah. So
yeah, 3 something. Yeah, 3 in the lower half of 3. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's like 40 or 30 something percent or something that you're using. So I'm expecting. So I'm going to treat you. I'm going to grade you like, oh no, you should be fighting with Buffalo toe to toe. No, dude, come on, man. I mean, let's go. But if you lose to Buffalo by 5 or 10 points or 3 points, something good must have happened in that game, bro. Sorry, that's the way I'm going to look at it. That you actually did. Now, if you got your ass kicked in every game, like the Yuccaneers did when they came in the league and all that, then yeah, dude, then there's nothing to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Cam Cameron.
Yeah.
That year, they lost a lot of close games. Now, there were a lot of veterans on that team, so it was better than this team. Don't get me wrong. But my point is, they fought like crazy, and that was something that those of us in the media and fans, I thought there was a lot of admiration for that team in that sense. You know what I mean? Because they never gave up on the year until Cam got out of control and pissed off Keith Traylor, and then shit on him, and then that's when the team turned on Cameron, and then the ownership and all that, they had to let him go after the first year. But through the first like 11 games or 12 games, that team fought, dude. They fought, and they were
well. That 1-1 was deeper. It was in December. No, it was. Right. So yeah. Then that win came like after that. It was pretty much already settled for Cameron, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. But I actually saw that video come back up on my timeline either this morning or yesterday.
And all those guys play with a lot of character that year. And if you covered the team like I did and you watched it, you admired that because they just didn't roll over every week. And if that happens, then we know something's wrong with Halfley. That, you know, if they're just rolling over. But if they're fighting, that's why I say moral victories are on the table for this year. Maybe next year and the year after there aren't any more of that because the wedding, the honeymoon is over. But for now, dude, come on, bro. You're not going to get a lot of victories. So there's got to be an opportunity for some moral victories. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, just no moral victory week 1. You're playing the Raiders. Like, you got to see some shit. You got to against the Raiders.
But you can't lose ugly is the point in that game. You can't go there and lose 25 points.
If it's like the Colts last year, week 1. Whew.
Right. There you go. See, that's a beautiful example.
That one told you from the beginning. There was the beginning of the end. Yeah.
All right. Follow him on Twitter at David Furones _. David, as always, thank you, my brother. Have a fantastic weekend. We'll catch up on Tuesday.
Yes, sir. Sounds good. You too.
This has been another session of Welt Associates PA, Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones, the law firm that knows your name and your case. Welt Associates PA. Get personal attention from a firm that treats you like a person, not a file. We're proud to serve individual families and businesses with a commitment to treating every client with respect while providing aggressive representation you deserve. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Welt Associates PA.